You can't even put a price on it. It's just unbelievable. The other thing on this list that's smoking related was cigarette machines. We're hell-bent on making sure we don't sell things to kids under the age of 18 now. Back in the day, you could walk into just a bar, a local establishment, roll a quarters.
Stansbury Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansbury Show, where Jeff Newell won his way into Wizards of Winter. You'll have your opportunity tomorrow. That show's at the Canton Palace Theater December 1st. You can grab tickets at cantonpalacetheater.com or win your way in with me tomorrow. Teresa will rock the bank with you again at 10 a.m. Give you a little advice on a keyword. We have been talking about things that have gone by the wayside. Experience, and some of them were, needed to go away. Not my parents, because they didn't drink a whole lot, or ever, really. But the amount of times you would get into somebody's car after their parents picked you up and there was a beer in the center console was just like common. It just happened, right? Smoking rooms in schools we talked about. The cigarette machines we talked about. That's a crazy device there. It's just like, yeah, just put the quarters in and you're good to go. You know, back in the day, people would kind of look at kids buying cigarettes out of there like, these ruffians, right? It wasn't, we got to make sure we do everything we can to keep kids off these cigarettes. A business owner would be like, I don't care, dude. Put the money in there, dude. I want to sell these things. And that's the way that would go. And this got brought to my attention, and Dwayne's not wrong about this. Dwayne in Ashtabula, he's affectionately known on the program, and he said, you know, we talk flipping of the standard on your show a lot. He goes, isn't this where society's getting things right? Yeah, kind of. Mitch wrote back in. He was a big part of the 7 o'clock hour. I believe that was Mitch was, and he says smoking sections in restaurants is still so bizarre to me. Yeah, all right. That's where that's one of those things I got turned all the way around on. And not so much the smoking, but the kids, right? Back when I was a younger man, kids, morons, what are you going to do, put people on the planet when the state of the earth is the way it is? Look at you being mean to the future generation. You're not even thinking, right? I was like one of those. I was like, I'm so enlightened, when in reality, you're just being a dick, right? And so I was one of those. And I was like, if you want no smoking sections in restaurants, I want no kid sections in restaurants, which I still believe, honestly, is a good idea. I do. Even like post-COVID really makes me think that, because like people just really, since being locked in your homes, kind of feel like I'm allowed to do what I want wherever I want, and like people are just taking their children in areas that a lot of times at a nicer restaurant where you shouldn't be, that kind of thing. We've talked about this differently. I said, dude, back in the day, if you had your kids in a B-dubs, people would look at you like you were a freak. What are you doing? What are you doing? Now it's like, this is where we go, right? It's one of those things. But if you brought your kid to a bar, people are like, dude, why is the kid in the bar? Which is strange, right? Because we need to buy another drink. We may open this up a little bit tomorrow, because somebody brought up a great point on this and said, yeah, but how more likely are you to buy another round of breadsticks or mozzarella sticks because you're just seeing to see what the marijuana thing will do there? Done. We'll open this subject up again tomorrow when we have a little bit more time to do. It's an afternoon, and hopefully we run into each other somewhere around town.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got good.
Like I would take my chances with Poochie Snyder. He's not.
Yeah, I've heard this.
But I mean, when I can just look down here and tell you, he's yes.
But great things about this kid. Like I said, I got buddies who went, and they've been going to all the games.
He's the real deal.
Like, dude, I'm telling you,
real deal.
I got a buddy who's telling me he's going to play on Sundays.
Really?
Yeah, I got a buddy who's like, I know, man, he's not going to the biggest college of all time and this and that, but he's like, you know how this works, man. That league is filled. He's undrafted at the NFL level, and I think it's some of my buddies' homerism in him for sure. Right?
Sure.
This town, it's right. He has the belief, he wants to see it happen, but he's convinced the kid's going to play on Sunday.
And tell you what, West Branch, no slouch either. I mean, this Bo Alazos, he's thrown for almost 3,200 yards this year, 34 touchdown passes.
Damn.
He's got four guys he can go to. So if you're a defensive back tonight, you better keep your head on a swivel.
And
They
if you
got
like offense, this is the game to
yeah,
go to.
they got 4 guys: Joey Jackson, Anthony Perry, Jeremiah Thomas, Gavin Gregory. And they split it around. Jackson's got 71 catches. Perry's got 75 catches. Thomas 43 catches. Gregory 22. So it's just like, I mean, it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
They refer to that as an embarrassment of riches.
Yes.
It's exactly what that is, an embarrassment of riches. And your Akron Children's Hospital High School game of the week is Canton South and West Branch. That game is in Louisville. Sam's on the call tonight. Sam is presented by the Benders of Massillon. Always good time, great food. Benders West End Tavern is now also open for lunch at 11 a.m. featuring smoked meats. And I got a couple of Browns questions for you too, Sam. So let's get into those next on Rock 106.9.
He's a man of many talents, but he does not have the talent for keeping quiet.
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. You'll have another opportunity to rock the bank. That will happen at 10 a.m. with Teresa. Joining me every Friday morning, 9 o'clock, is one of the voices of high school football, neutral site in Louisville. And Sam is presented by the Benders of Massillon. Always good time, great food, too. Benders West End Tavern now open for lunch at 11 a.m. They have the smoked meats there, and also the Benders of Massillon, Benders Food and Spirits and Pizzeria downtown, which I like a lot. The pizza's great. And Benders West End Tavern.
Little menu shake-up over to West End Tavern. Doing some new stuff. Looks kind of cool. I like it. I like the new menu.
Yeah, I think it's important for places to freshen up.
Yeah.
Keep your standards that you know people love, and then kind of switch it up a little bit every now and again.
I like
right?
it.
So I'm all for that. So Sam will be on the call tonight. Canton South and West Branch, 7 o'clock. That game will get kicked off here on Rock 106.9. And again, that's your Akron Children's Hospital High School game of the week. Now, we know we got a pro game coming up Sunday. And you were in the stadium last week for the Browns taking care of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes. Rather, as I was talking to you during the break, a rather anticlimactic Sunday up in Cleveland.
Weird to say about a game that ended 27-0 in the Browns' favor, but you're not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, there was never a doubt. And I know it's the NFL, and I know any given Sunday, and I know conspiracy, and believe me, but I never... That game was over before it started.
That defense should be able to contain Clayton Tune.
Clayton Tune. Oh, my God. And again, we need to preface that Arizona is losing on purpose. They are tanking. That's what they're doing. But they were awful. I looked up at the scoreboard numerous times to watch the running stats of the Arizona total offense.
Yeah.
And when it never got to 100 total. I mean, come on.
The defense is good, but...
Arizona is so bad. And would Kyler Murray made a difference? Probably. But they just threw Clayton Tune out there and said, go get him. And it was bad. It was bad.
That could not have been an easy task.
Ugh.
So it's Browns-Ravens comes up.
Little different.
Browns on the road. Line 6.5 currently, according to the betting app I happen to use here. It feels strange, but 6.5 is a big number. Like, I know what Baltimore just did last week to Seattle. I get it.
And that's why. That's a little reason why it's big.
It feels too big.
Yeah. What did you think of the original number at 5.5? What did you feel about that?
Again, it feels a little big, but I would be less likely to bet 5.5. Browns getting 6.5. If you tell me this game ends a field goal separating these teams, I don't think that's crazy. But what I don't like about this game is it's hard to handicap, if you ask me, because a lot of variables could happen. I mean, you could head into Baltimore and get boat raced. You could. That team's dangerous. They can score, and by the way, everybody's talking about how good this Browns defense is, and they are. But what not enough people are talking about is how good this Ravens defense is. They're really good too. If John Harbaugh, gets his guys all motivated this week, here comes this Cleveland team, and everybody's telling you how good this defense is. We're 7-2. You're the defense that's only lost 2 games. They should be talking about you. Get out there and show everybody that they need to be talking about you. This is your house. It's going to be easy to motivate there a little bit. And so this team, dude, I think the Ravens might be the most complete team in the NFL right now.
You could get me to lean that way. Here's a couple things. Remember the first time these teams played. Remember what happened.
Yeah, it was not great.
Watson, 3 hours before kickoff, decides he can't play.
Yeah.
Here comes Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who had no business being in there.
None.
It was awful. It was like the Arizona Cleveland. It was awful.
It was a little bit like
okay,
that.
so that's going to be different this time around, we think.
We hope.
We hope and we think. There's no, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? He is starting. This will be a second. Okay, so you've got Deshaun instead of DTR.
Much better.
That's number one. Number two, I did this last night because the Browns' defense is very good. It's not historic, but it's very good. Name me the quarterbacks that they have beaten this year.
Well, you're not necessarily wrong.
And that scares me a little bit.
The one thing they did do is they rattled Brock Purdy.
They did.
They rattled Brock
They
Purdy
did.
to the point to where he's been rattled, I think, since.
Yeah, he's had a massive
I think
4-week hangover.
Yeah, I think Miles got in Homeboy's head,
Yeah.
for real.
And maybe Brock Purdy's not all that. anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like Miles and company kind of pulled the curtain back and was like, "Is this kid a serviceable QB?
Yeah.
Sure." And Shanahan makes everybody play better, right? And so like all of that, so fair enough. But I think if the one quarterback that everybody was trying to tell you was going to be an MVP candidate was so much better than everybody was, than some people were saying, and a lot of people were like, "No, dude, this guy's a product of his system in San Francisco." But a lot, some others were saying, no, you're not giving enough credit to this quarterback. So Brock Purdy's the one that kind of comes to mind because people had him slated as a MVP candidate. Not me. I always thought that was a little nuts. But that's the one that comes to mind. Now you lost the first Baltimore game here. You want to split.
Need a split because
are we in must-win territory here?
You know what? Most people that I've listened to have said no. They said it's not must win. They said it would be huge and possibly season changing if you get a win.
Well, that I agree with.
And you take a notch off the division lead. If the playoffs started today, the entire division makes the postseason.
Nuts, right?
Okay, so what is it? 7-2, and everybody else is 5-3, or something like that, or 5, whatever. So, is it a must-have to have? No, because you still have 7 or 8 games left, but it is division. You've already lost to Baltimore once,
Yes.
and I think if anything,
And you're right.
the
rest of us are
confidence you could get by going into that hole and winning a game would be huge. I
the
think.
momentum that you have on your side coming out of Baltimore, which, by the way, they say is an incredibly tough place to play.
Yeah, it's
They
like
say
college atmosphere.
They say it's one of the loudest stadiums
Yeah.
in the league. It's brutal there.
It's our old team. Yeah.
Yes.
Not that I'm bitter or anything. Not that I'm bitter or anything.
Yes, it is there. I think the momentum that you could get coming out of the other side of this is you could go on a real
And
run.
look at our schedule coming up.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bears, Denver. There's some
winnable
crap
games.
teams out there.
There's some winnable games, which I like both ways, right? Because if you win Baltimore, if you win this game Sunday, now you got the momentum. You got some ease more. Let's not lose hope here. We got a couple of winnable games on this schedule. So no matter what happens Sunday afternoon, I feel like the team. Now I know what will happen to the fan base. If they lose Sunday, oh no, here we go again. Same old Browns, right? And if they win, Super Bowl, Super Browns. And that's how that's going to go. But as far as like whether the team will feel defeated, I think looking at the next couple of games out there on the schedule, not necessarily crazy. Deshaun Watson's numbers, over under 189.5 passing yards Sunday against the Ravens. What do you think happens there?
God.
I kind of like taking the Browns plus 6.5 and Deshaun over 189.
I think I would go with the over because there's probably a possibility they'll be playing from behind.
They're going to have to
And
throw.
he'll have to throw.
They're going to have to throw. I agree.
But that's a low number. For an NFL quarterback, 180, that's low.
Well, nobody's gotten a whole lot of faith in the kid just yet,
Yeah,
man.
that's true.
Last week, again, you were in the stadium. Early on, those throws looked terrible. They were terrible.
There was boos.
I know.
There were boos. The first quarter, there was a smattering of boos when those attempted passes went into the ground. And I thought, oh, God, if this keeps up, or he throws a couple picks,
Now we're in trouble.
What
I was made happy with is I felt like the arm got better as the game went on. the throws got better. His location, the velocity of the throws, like late in that fourth quarter. When he hit
deep ball to
Amari in
Cooper,
stride,
yeah.
when he hit Amari, it was that ball was perfect.
Perfect.
It was where Amari could catch it. The DB had no chance whatsoever. That's what by the way, that's a $230 million throw. It is. He just has to make a lot of those.
Consistency, yes.
To be worth $230 million. But that was a throw where it was like, oh, man, here it is.
That was a throw where you maybe said, he's back.
He's back.
Maybe. Now, do it again and again. And I still need to see a couple of 20, 25-yard outs with a little mustard on them. I need to see those.
Don't disagree there. And this Baltimore's defense is going to be a lot better than Arizona's. So are you going to be able to make that throw against their secondary? That's what I'm going to be interested to see. I, like you, think in the fourth quarter they're going to be playing from behind a little bit.
I believe so.
Baltimore can win. How do you want to get beat is Baltimore's thing. You want us to run it down your throat? Fine, you'll do it. You want Lamar to move around a little bit, make some throws, and beat you in the end zone? Fine, that's how you're going to do it. They can. I think, honestly, people think I'm nuts here, but I think Baltimore's the most complete team in the league.
I would agree with you. And I will tell you this.
I think it's Kansas City, Baltimore in the AFC Championship.
I will tell you this. You know who is starting to scare me?
Who?
Cincinnati.
Well, they're getting hot at the right time.
They're getting better. They look more complete. I think the squabbling is over with down there. Chase and Joey B are on the same page. The defense is coming around. This is not their first fight at the corral.
They kind of
they scare me more than anybody in the division right now because of, I think, what their ceiling and what their experience in the playoffs has been.
Okay, so let's take a look at the AFC North here as I'm sitting down with Sam Burke. Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Who's got the best quarterback in the AFC North?
Right now,
okay,
Baltimore.
Let me ask you this one. All four guys, you've seen them all play NFL games. You know what they are. All four are on the open market next week, and you're the GM of a team. Who are you calling to land as your starting quarterback for the
Joe
next
Burrow.
set? You're going with Joe
I'm
Burrow.
going Joe Burrow, then I'm going Lamar,
Deshaun?
and I'm probably going to go Deshaun, and then I'm going to go Pickett. But Pickett's got this fourth quarter magic about him. He stinks for 2.5 hours. And then in the fourth quarter, they need a drive to win.
Yeah.
He does how?
So my brother and I were talking about this last night. My brother views it the way you do. He's like, I hate the kid. He's like, but there's something about the fourth quarter
him in the fourth quarter.
And I said, yeah, but the problem with Magic is that it runs out. Talent rarely runs out, right? Like Magic, you kind of get to the end of the bottle, and it's like, not enough left in that one, right? And I feel like, Pittsburgh's been out.
Everything.
They've been outgained every game they've won. Every team they played is more yards, more, right? So I feel like there's some smoke and mirrors happening there with Pickett.
Could be.
And so we'll see. But I do have it the way you have it. I think I'd probably go Joe Burrow, Lamar. I'd like to see Deshaun get himself into Secondville there. But I think if he even plays the way we know he's capable of playing, we could be the most dangerous team. Here's the thing about the Browns: nobody wants to play him. Like, you don't want to play them. If this team gets in the playoffs, you don't want to play them. Like, any given day,
they could be a very dangerous.
That defense can
very
keep
dangerous
you in a game,
wild card.
and next thing you know, you could find yourself winning games people think you could lose. Now, you're on the call tonight, though. This game's at Louisville. It's our Akron Children's Hospital High School game of the week. It's Canton South and West Branch, and Sam is presented by the Benders of Massillon, Benders Food and Spirits and Pizzeria downtown, Benders West End Tavern. And you're looking forward to this game tonight. You think there's going to be some offensive
there's going to be some fireworks. Don't be surprised if the winning team puts up 50.
Well, what'd you say? It was 63-42
the last time they played.
in 2021.
Yeah.
Man, scoreboard operator, like we
Look
said,
out.
get those no-nos out, Holmes, because
Yes.
you're going to have your finger on the button all night long. If you can't make it to Louisville to catch the game live, you can grab it here on Rock 106.9 at 7 o'clock. And again, your Akron Children's Hospital High School game of the week is Canton South, West Branch, 7 o'clock on Rock 106.9. Sam Berkwin on the call, and he's presented by the Benders of Massillon. Buddy, have a great night tonight. We'll catch you again next Friday, 9 o'clock, right here on The Stansberry Show.
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. Nearing the end of the program now. I should remind you that another opportunity to rock the bank, grab $1,000 to start your weekend out. That next keyword lands at 10 a.m. with Teresa. We'll continue those all day on Rock 106.9. you will be getting 12 more of them. And again, that next one at 10 a.m. with Teresa. Well, thanks Sam Berkwin for stopping by, spending the 9 o'clock hour with us. Sam presented by the Benders of Massillon. And Sam's on the call tonight for your Akron Children's Hospital High School Game of the Week. That is Canton South and West Branch. And neutral site tonight at Louisville. That game will be at 7 o'clock on Rock 106.9. Sam and I were joking around as he was walking out of the studio saying, here we are talking about a high-scoring game and watch it end 10-7 tonight, so we both look like absolute dopes, right? And that may happen. The amount of times you'll make a prediction and things like that. And they don't always work out, right? They don't always work out. But we'll thank Sam for stopping by. I love having that guy on. I can't wait to talk to him again next week. And we also spent a little bit of this morning talking about issue 2 passing. Mike DeWine's a little worried about some things that are going to happen. He wants to make some changes to issue 2. We kind of walked through some of those. He's worried about people being able to smell marijuana in public. He had said he went to an unnamed state. He didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, but he said pretty much everywhere you went, you could smell marijuana. I have family members who live in a state that has recreational made legal. That's Nevada. And if you're on the Strip, you can smell it. In the suburbs and stuff, not so much. But in the more touristy places where everybody's going to be an idiot, and Las Vegas has that, you're dealing with some of that. I think, honestly, next Hall of Fame weekend, it could be brutal in the city then when you have a lot of people. I don't think day in and day out we're going to have a ton of worries about that, but you will smell it some places. It's up to some businesses and the like whether or not they allow you to take part. I had the question. I'm curious about what a bar owner is going to do there. Because cigarette smoking, of course you want to build the patio for a cigarette smoker if you're a bar owner. Because cigarettes and alcohol go hand in hand. They're best friends. Right? The more you drink, the more you want to smoke. Smoke cigarettes, let's get another drink. Now, if you're smoking weed, though, like that's affecting your sobriety level. And so the more of that you take in, the less likely you maybe are to want to order another drink. So I'm curious to see what bar owners do there with the legalization of recreation and how they handle their patios. Also, if you're smoking a joint on the patio, plenty of people are going to be like, dude, I don't want to be out here. I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to go to another bar. And so you may have that issue. I think a lot of places are going to tell you, you can vape here, you can do your edibles here. We don't necessarily want joints on fire out here. It's very intrusive, and people don't necessarily want to sit next to it, and I could see that. I brought up the point that plenty of places will let you smoke cigarettes on their smoking patio, but if you pull out a cigar or a pipe, you're not doing that here. Now, it's interesting because I actually think cigars smell pretty good, right? I'm one of those. But there are plenty of people who don't like those types of things, so we talked about that a little. If you miss any conversation from this morning, pick up the podcast shortly at WURQK.com. Aside from that, I am done for the day and week. Not back live again until Monday morning at 6 a.m. Stay safe out there, be good to one another, and do in fact meet me here Monday morning at 6 a.m. for another week of the Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. Hopefully you have a decent weekend, and hopefully I run into you somewhere around town.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Warning, the show you're about to hear has been prepared by some of the best talent in the industry we could get. For the money. Do not attempt this at home. Doing so would only expose just how useless and brainless these people really are.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you ready? Because if we didn't give him a job, he'd probably be dead. It's the Stansberry Show. Rock 106.9.
Welcome to Thursday morning on the Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. Online for you at WURQK.com. If you were absent for yesterday's class, you can get the makeup exam via the podcast at WURQK.com. Today on the program, however, though, at 9 o'clock, I'm going to rock the bank with you. I'm going to get that first $1,000 keyword passed out. I say it all the time. Right around the corner is the holiday season. You're going to be out there shopping. Let's take that problem and make it just that much easier for you by passing out $1,000 keywords. We do it 13 times a day on Rock 106.9. I have the first one, and we will do that coming up at 9 a.m. this very morning. Also at 9, we're going to take a look at some of the best comedy movies of all time. People kind of talk about how you can't make a great comedy anymore because of the sensibilities of everybody now. Everybody's too soft, and nobody can take a joke anymore. And there is some truth in that. There is some truth in that, and there would be a lot of comedies that would be that people tell you, "Wow, this doesn't hold up anymore because this one joke, this 2 hours of entertainment is now trash because of this one line in this joke," right? And that's the way we kind of do things now. So we're going to take a look back through some of the best comedies of all time. We'll do that coming up at 9 o'clock. You can let me know what yours are in that conversation, or anything else, by the way, by clicking the microphone talkback button if you happen to listen on iHeartRadio. Now, another way to contribute to the program is through the phone. 330-450-7625, or toll free always at 800-243-7625. And you'll need those numbers coming up at 8:45, because that's when I'm going to get you in to see Rodney Carrington. The comedian will be at the Canton Palace Theater. This is January 26th. Not that far off now, right? And so we will get you hooked up. We will do that at 8:45. I'm passing those tickets out today and tomorrow. Also, in the 8 o'clock hour, we all have a group of friends. We hang out with them, we talk to them, and then when we're with our other friends and not with them, we talk trash behind their backs, right? Welcome to human beings. But people were willing to get open and honest about a list of things that they secretly do not like about their friends. When I ran across this list and I read it last night, I thought to myself, oh my God, this one thing does infuriate me about my friends. And I did think of one particular friend in question when I saw the list. And it says, if you do this, there's a list of them, but this one, they said, if you do this, people are really annoyed by it. And I thought to myself, yeah, that happens to me all the time with a particular friend, and it does kind of annoy me. So we'll talk about what we don't like about our own friend circles. We'll do that coming up at 8 o'clock. And again, you can contribute to the program by clicking that microphone talkback button on iHeartRadio. Also in the 7 o'clock hour, a phrase we use all the time, and I think we wipe our ass with it, is mental health. This country went thousands of years of denying that anybody could have legitimate reasons to be sad or any of this type of, we denied this as an issue forever. And then instead of focusing on it and trying to get it worked out, we just kind of turned it into the new trend. Oh my God, hashtag awareness. Oh my God, hashtag mental health struggle. Oh my God, mental health day. And we just kind of allowed everybody to WebMD themselves into anxiety, right? So they wanted to run a study down on men and what their state of men's mental health is. This is going to be an interesting conversation because men are kind of told and have been kind of told, you don't do that, mental health stuff is for chicks. Shut up and stop crying, Will Smith, even though your wife just told you straight to your face she prefers another man's penis. Don't cry on the internet. Now we're going to make fun of you. I wish men would just kind of talk about how they're feeling a little bit more. If we could just get them to open up just a little bit more, right? That kind of conversations, there's a reason why men don't do it. It's because they're dragged all over hell's half acre once they do it. So we're going to talk about the struggle of men and their mental health. We'll do that a little bit coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. I think that's going to be a little bit of an interesting conversation, or at least that's the hope by me, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what's next on the Stansberry Show.
All right, well, I actually want to go backwards a little bit next. We talked about a list of jobs that pay over $50,000 where you don't need a college degree. I took a lot of input from podcast listeners on this, so I'm going to circle back to some of their comments. And one of the jobs on the list, you might not want over a story that happened here in Ohio. We'll touch on that next on the Stansberry Show.
Kind of funny you can listen to him on your smart speaker.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
The Stansberry Show.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
On Rock 1069.
Going to add a third paycheck to your month. Go rock the bank with me and grab a $1,000 keyword at 9 a.m. this morning. You'll have 12 more opportunities throughout the day on Rock 1069 as well. I just passed out the first at 9. Yesterday we had been talking about Money a Touch. And we talked about some career fields and jobs that you could get. Where people were letting us know that they made well over $50,000 a year and yet didn't have a college degree. Now, we we know that with the rise of inflation, 50 is not going to go as far as it once did, but a lot of these jobs paid a lot more than that. And I don't know if we'll have time to get through the entire list. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure we did that yesterday. But one of these guys said, I deliver bread to grocery stores. I did 120 last year, working 6 to 8 hours a day. Jeez. Healthcare, pension, paid vacation. I'm in a union. It's great work if you can find it, you know. The union part's interesting because, like, and here's why I say I've never worked for a union.